First of all, my name is Jackie Wright. I'm a 6th grader at Hillsman Middle School, and my teacher is Miss Gonzalez. Her full name is Leslie Gonzalez. Before I show you all of my project, I'm going to describe it to you. The general idea of my project, as you will see, is images of mostly ordinary things that I tried to make look really cool. For example, I used bright and unnatural colors, and the images will sometimes only have 1 to 3 of those colors. I really like taking pictures and making big changes to them. I took all of these in Washington, D.C. Before doing anything else to them, I made each of the pictures black and white. For each of the images, I'll explain in detail how I made the changes later in the video. I used a program called ACDSee Ultimate 8. It is used for editing images. The first image shows a row of bikes for rent. The second shows a stoplight on a pole with several other traffic lights and a road sign. My last image is of a building with unique architecture at a unique angle. My project doesn't really solve a problem, it's just art. So here it is. Okay, here's how I edited this image. Once again, here's the before and after. Before, after. So here's how I edited it. First, I used this tool called the Magic Wand Selection tool. I can select a pixel, and then the computer selects all the similar pixels in the image. Then I can edit all of the selected pixels separate from the rest of the image. So with the selection tool, I used another tool called split tone. I raised the saturation of the shadows and the highlights to 100%, and then I left the hue at red. Then I unselected everything and used this special effect called childhood. It darkens the corners of the image and makes it a little bit brighter, and the edges are a little softer. So that was my finished project. Okay, here's how I edited this picture. Here's the before, and here's the after. So before I did anything else, I cropped it because there was a lot of empty space that I didn't like there. And then I used the childhood effect again. It darkened the corners and made the highlights lighter and made the shadows darker. So then I used the selection tool and selected this area and used the split tone tool on that area. I increased the shadow saturation and the highlight saturation and made it this orange-red type of color. Then I unselected and selected a different area. Once again, I increased the shadows and highlight saturation, but then I made them blue. So I unselected, and this is my finished product. Here's how I edited my final image. This was the simplest one. Before and after. So first I selected this area right here, and used the split tone tool again, increased the shadows and highlight saturation, then changed the hue of both of those to this lime green. Then I unselected and selected a different area. Then with this area, I did mostly the same thing, but I had a different hue. I used this orange. Then I unselected again, and this was my finished product. Okay, so that's the end of my presentation. I hope you liked it. As you could probably guess, my main theme was colors. I think it's really cool to take something that would otherwise be sort of boring and give it colors, and that can change all of it. So yeah, I hope you liked my project, and bye.